Hey folks, hope everybody is well. It's 6:39 p.m. Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. I'm very blessed and fortunate this year that I've been able to get in here as much as I can. You know, I'm doing a lot of overnighters, right? I got cat duties, so yeah, I'm a cat dad, and you know the cats rule, right? So got to cater to the kitties, and but I can get in here as much as I can. I put them on a timer feeder. It works. But anyways, I was in here Monday, and there's a big log here on the ground. It was on top of big flat rock here on the fire pit, but that's not how I left it yesterday morning, or Tuesday. Yeah, yesterday morning. Somebody could have come in here. Sorry, getting smoke in my eyes. Somebody could have come in here and done that, but the fire hadn't been used because the same two burnt pieces of wood that I had left in it when I put it out, they weren't touched, you know, so nobody had burned any new fire in here. And you know, no, I don't think anybody camped in here within the one day that I haven't been here, so just kind of an odd thing, right? But listening back to the audio from Monday night, as I got up at about 4 o'clock, I think it was just after 4 in the morning, had to go pee, right? And when I'm about just a few seconds before I get back into the tent, there's 2 loud rock clacks, and then there's 2 really, really quiet ones immediately following it. So it's 4, like loud, loud, soft, soft. I almost missed those ones. They're that soft. And you know, that's not me. I'm doing my thing and going right back into the tent, right? It's 4 something in the morning. Basically coldest part of the night too, so I'm not clacking rocks. And what's funny is it was also the visit, I don't know, a few back now. You know, these have all been recent though, right? And I was getting out of the tent, and there was that snort sound. And there's the 2 rock clacks before that. So I just showed that in another piece there, but I didn't realize that till after I had posted the video. Say, hey, wait a sec, there's rock clacks in there. And then you hear the rock drop, right? Hear it hit the ground. So it's those details, but the fact I was talking about, the clacks, you know, then suddenly Monday night I get 2 good ones. Again, I didn't hear them in real time. You know, I don't tend to hear the stuff in real time, which is why I love audio, right? It tells a whole story, you know. I have listened probably to more audio in this subject than anybody on earth, by far. I wouldn't doubt, you know. It's not, I record all night, every night, sometimes multiple units, right? So Like the last visit I was here, I ran a second recorder. It was about 110 paces from the other one. And, I still got to go through that fully. But that's, with the two of them, but 20 hours listening. Plus, because you stop when you hear something, you listen to it a few times, and you might cut something out, maybe try to pull it out a little more, so a lot of work involved, especially when you're hearing so many different sounds, and I hear stuff that I've never heard before, and I've grown a real passion for recording while I'm in the woods, tenting it, staying overnight. Sorry, bit in the eyes, smoke in the eyes there. Beside the chipmunk going off there in the distance, this wood, if you listen, it's pretty quiet. There's little snap, crackle, pops there, little ones. But not like I get on audio. That sometimes goes on for hours and hours. And it's funny, sometimes I'll be up and then it stops. There's nothing. I know they do, Neff's family, I know they do a lot of that. After listening to so many nights with, in their home basically, and with them present, you can tell they're present, right? They let you know. And they teach you too. They teach you with a lot of subtle movements on their part, subtle incidents, subtle, it's like they're teaching you, pay attention to the details. And again, that the piece with the snort, with the zipper, and then it's got the two rock clacks before it, that right there gives it away, right? When you hear that, it's like, okay, that's those guys. I don't know how they did that, Maybe it is a deer there at the same time, but I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Not with what I've experienced with them. It's a lot of weirdness. Weirdness and timing. Good timing. It's like every moment with them is a teaching moment. Don't always get it, but at this point, I've said before, I don't share everything. I can't, right? It's just, some of it's personal. It's a personal journey, right? So, but there's moments that are things that you learn along the way that show who they really are as a people, as a good people, integrity and no ego. The epitome of quiet. That was going off the other night too. Right there. I know the children are excited to interact with humans, to connect with humans. Can just tell. I don't know what that is. Not sure what that is. I recorded some other sounds the other night too. No idea if anybody knows what this is. You know, I've said many times, the Sasquatch, they know what's going on in this world. They know what's going on. They know the deception going on. They see right through it, no problem. So do I. What freaks me out is most people don't. For me, it's simple. I can see right through it, no problem. It's easy. So, you know, a lot of people would call me crazy because of that, because I can see what they can't see, apparently. The majority of the population, you know, have been brainwashed to a, it's insane. And you can't tell them. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff going down right now, and it's the message basically is just we all got to come together. We all got to stand up in unison. We all got to stand up together. It's the only way. It's the only way. We do that. If we do that around the world, it all falls apart, and we start building with integrity and honesty and no corruption. We got to stand up, though, because it's a small group, you know, compared to our numbers. They're nothing. They got the money and the money and the power and they got the odds are stacked huge against us, but not if we all stand up together. So the Sasquatch, they see all this. They know it. They know what's going on. And I know Neff had a message, and it was come together. It's not going to be easy. That's for sure. You know, I've now gone since, or it's been since 2012. Pretty sure it's 2012 that I've been interacting with Neff's family, right? So that's basically, you know, it's a dozen years. I don't know how many visits are in that time. It's different dynamics with different situations. Very personalized and sensitive situation interacting with them, right? You know, this is literally contact with an ancient race who have mastered consciousness and know how to regulate or change their frequency, shift their energy to different levels of physicality and non-physicality. So basically, invisible, walk through, no walls, to invisible and walk right into one, or completely flesh and blood and everything in between. That's what I've gathered that they can do from, you know, it's a inherent quality understanding, just their makeup, their DNA, their genetics. They all know how to do this from what I've gathered, or at least what I've experienced with all the people that I can tell are legit that I've talked to over the years. You know, it's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff, all the same behaviors. A lot of people get freaked out, even though, you know, there's no malevolence being shown. You know, there's never any malicious intent from them, or, you know, you can piss them off like anybody. Poke this fire. So this is contact with they say they predate humans, you know. From what I've gathered, what was shared with me is their DNA was messed with to create us. They say we were created by the Anunnaki, but they have a different creator. What or who that is, I don't know. So, you know, this will sound however it sounds to each person individually. I'm just sharing what I've gathered over the years, regardless of how it may sound to many. You know, look what we're dealing with here. Like literally an interdimensional race, right? So don't even begin to think you can understand it, at least some of it, until you experience it firsthand. Then you'll know. Sure does take some getting used to. I'll tell you an incident that I had more recent, which is pretty weird. Pretty personal too, actually, but it's okay. I'm gonna share it because this can come with this stuff, right? Because when you're involved in something this close to the spiritual realm, then other things can follow, right? Or come after you, or interfere, or whatever it is. So Dwayne and I are sitting at the kitchen table, and we start, I forget how the discussion came up, but we start talking about objects having attachments. And, you know, I know there was something when I was a kid in our house. There was an attachment to something. I remember there was we had this, it was a semi-detached bungalow, or no, semi-detached home there. I think I was probably 9, 10, I don't know, 12, in that range. And we had this spare room for guests, and I remember inside was a wash basin and a jug from maybe the 1800s, and the wash basin with it, and there was an old Singer sewing machine that was in a wooden, it was built right in, you know, the sewing machine would pop up. Old school, man. It was, you know, nice piece, right? And so those two items, I don't know what one it was, but there was something attached to that, and it was negative. And I remember as a kid, I'd run past that room, and other family members younger than me would do the same thing. They all felt it, right? So yeah, that room was always cold, you know. And I had a lot of I can't say a lot, I don't know how many. I had a number of incidents of sleep paralysis in that place, right? And that's you know, it feels like something in the room, very intense, extremely intense, and a dark energy, right? And that would happen in that house. But so anyways, Dwayne and I are sitting at the table, and we're talking about attachments to objects, suddenly I get this, like immediately, I get this flash of an image in my head. It flashed a few times of a mask I have on the wall in my living room at home from Bali. It was about that size. You know, amazing carving, but it looked demonic, right? So I get this flash of this image, and I say to Dwayne right away, you know, what just happened, what I just saw. And he goes, you've mentioned that before, about that mask. I've always had this intuition about it, right? There's something off about it. Something is off about that mask. I felt it. I knew it. I didn't do anything about it. And so we're sitting at the table, and I ask out loud, Neff, you know, is there a demon attached to that mask? And almost immediately a marble come out of, you know, nowhere. Almost immediately a marble come out of, you know, nowhere, as in response to my question, right? To confirm that. And then I wanted it double confirmed. So I asked again, and he did it again. I got 2 marbles on cue with that question. Is there a demon attached to that mask? So, needless to say, when I went home the next day, a fire pit out front there, I took that mask off the wall, I put it in the fire pit, grabbed a box of salt, surrounded the whole pit, poured gasoline on that thing, and stood there until it was in ashes. So, then some might think, you know, being involved with the Sasquatch, it's that, you know, that's what's doing it. Well, maybe it is in a way, which would be just an attack from the dark side, trying to infiltrate or whatever it is. But it's not them, that's for sure. I think they hide from that stuff, actually.
In the sky above, the painted white, chemtrails rolling through, shrouding the light. What's falling down? It's the fear we don't see. Poison air we breathe. Can't you feel it? Can't you see it in me? They call it progress, but it feels like decay. Coughing in the streets as the light fades away. Can't trust the water, it's laced with despise. Governments lie while the innocent cry. Whoa, can't you see the world we slave? Genocide's lurking where the profits are made. One world order, demons at the helm, drowning in madness, the kingdom overwhelms. But love rules all. Oh, love will arise, a fire in our hearts, lighting up the skies. Down in the soil where the poisons lie, corporations feed us fear, drowning us in lies. Shackled to the past, can't you hear the call? It's a gritty fight we're in, but we'll never fall. Big farmers playing with the lives of the weak, profiting off pain. It's our sickness that they seek. Climbing through the shadows, searching for the light. In this chemical haze, we're ready for the fight. Oh, can't you see the world we slave? Genocide's lurking where the profits are made. One world order, demons at the helm, drowning in madness, the kingdom overwhelms. But love rules all. Oh, love will arise, a fire in our hearts, lighting up the skies. Sons and daughters rise up on a hill. The battle for freedom is alive and well. We march through the nightmares with fists raised high. Love is our weapon, never gonna die. We'll drink from the rivers, we'll breathe in our light. Grit in our teeth, we'll stand for what's right. We won't be silent, we'll shout it out loud. For love is the answer, we'll make our hearts proud. So look to the skies where the shadows play. Know the truth will rise, even in dismay. With every step forward, we're breaking the chains. In this twisted game of greed, our love remains. Awake from the slumber, let our voices roar. As we tear down the walls, we're opening doors. In the end, it's love that guides us all. Through the poison and shadows, together we stand tall. Chasing shadows, we'll find the way through the grit and the grime of another day. So hold on, my love, as we fight for the truth. In a world of chaos, it's our love that's the proof.